How would a car look like with 2000 horsepower? Maybe like this. Well, from a power-to-weight ratio point of view, this is basically the two-wheel version of exactly that. If you are a strictly four-wheel guy and don't care about anything else, chances are quite high that you're missing out on one of motorsport's biggest and craziest series in the world. But don't worry, today we're going to fix that. We will go into the glimpse of the craziness that is the MotoGP. MotoGP goes back to the year 1949, where it started as a 500cc World Championship. In those days, it was two-stroke engines with a very, very interesting power delivery. You could also say it was an explosive power delivery. To tame those beasts, it was crazy. The series developed, and in the early 2000s, the two-stroke engine became history and the four-stroke engine came in. The capacity in the beginning was raised from 500cc to 800cc. Today we talk about 1000cc capacity with the four-stroke engines, and even though four-stroke engines have a way smoother power delivery, that doesn't mean that those guys don't have to work hard, because the power number went always up. Nowadays we talk about 240, 250, 260, rumors say even more power than that, and taking the weight into consideration, with 160 kilograms around like that, the power to weight ratio of those machines is just insane. The MotoGP races are super exciting as there are so many overtakes that you can see. As with the motorcycles, you can take different lines through turns. They are way narrower than cars. So yeah, you can fit 5, 6, 7 motorcycles into one corner, where you never could do that with cars. And that's why the racing is just so exciting. And also all the riders, they give it their best. In MotoGP, there are more than 10 teams competing against each other. Amongst them, manufacturer teams like KTM, Aprilia, Ducati, Honda, Yamaha, and there are also some privateer teams. That means there are more than 22 riders fighting for the win of each and every Grand Prix, and to reach that goal, they often go way faster than 350 kilometers per hour. We are at the Sachsenring at the MotoGP German Grand Prix. This is the 7th race of the 2023 season. It is the 26th time that the German MotoGP Grand Prix goes down on this special racetrack. There are more than 200,000 spectators expected over the entire weekend. In this exact moment, we are in the Red Bull Racing Circus, where one of our cars is displayed amongst many other special vehicles.
Today I wanted to show you a little bit of the technical aspects of these insane bikes, quite on a high level, but yeah, I think it will be exciting. Who thought, okay, these machines, yeah, you put a rider on it and you go, is completely wrong. MotoGP just started a couple years ago with also adding aero elements. I mean, aerodynamical drag was always an issue, and the driver is a vital part of that. So his driving position is basically the whole surface, the upper surface of the motorcycle. But the regulations changed, and now they have wings in the front, they have wings in the back, they have diffuser-like shapes around the brake. So when they go sideways, it's like a diffuser effect, like a Venturi effect. They suck the bike down to the ground, push the tires harder in the tarmac, make the speeds in the corners even higher, even more ridiculous. So aero is a big topic, and a lot of F1 aerodynamicists went to MotoGP and also developed the aero packages on those bikes. So this is something not so many people already know. This one is the KTM RC16. This is the model from last year, so 2022. The engine, the heart of the bike, as said, 1000 cubic inches in displacement, often 4-cylinder engines, sometimes inline or sometimes as a V. Rumors say that some of the engines actually produce over 300 horsepower, which is ridiculous. And it's not about only the power, it's also about the drivability. Imagine the two-wheelers have only 2 tires on the ground with a contact patch like this big. This is not much, and if you like just be a little bit too aggressive on the throttle, it will just kick you off. And if you look closely, those engines, they are sideways down to 60 degrees of angle while being sideways, sometimes even lifting the front wheel up. There you need maximum control of the engine, of the entire bike, and this is just mental. As in a car, the backbone of the entire bike is the chassis that keeps all the components together. In MotoGP, they also use very sophisticated materials like aluminium, carbon fiber, magnesium, titanium. The approach is to keep everything as small as possible, as compact as possible, but at the same time as stiff as possible. The panels that you see around, their only task is to keep everything inside and to have the maximum aero efficiency, as we already discussed. So sometimes even the chassis has to build around the aero, as you know it from, for example, Formula 1. What's also on it is the suspension. So we have a front fork, we have the rear swing, and there's a lot of adjustability built in that they can tune the bike to the specific racetrack and to the specific needs of the driver. This is a very, very complex topic to keep everything in check. Aero, suspension, brakes, engine, all that needs to be just in sync, and in sync with the driver, in sync with the track, in sync with the conditions. This is chassis and panels and suspension. The exhaust system on a MotoGP bike is something really, really special. It's made out of titanium, however, there's nothing inside that would silence the noise of the engine. Titanium is basically the lightest material that can take the heat and doesn't burst or melt or get cracks when it gets hot and cold again. This one specifically is super light, and these specific designs are made that the aerodynamics are disturbed as less as possible. This distinguished design you can basically only see on MotoGP bikes, with having one tube on the side and one underneath here in the rear. The sound, actually, I have to close my ears. It's ridiculously loud. So you've seen a couple of the engineering specs that go into MotoGP bikes. We haven't spoke about the drivers. They are a very, very special breed of Homo sapiens. Heads off to them, pushing the limits and what's possible on two wheels, and with a power to weight ratio that is just astronomical. Heads off from me, and I would say I'll take a ride.